Communication is not only an important tool in our day-to-day interaction with friends and family, but also in our marriage too. It is the only way we share our opinions, feelings, and even our emotions. Stay tuned as Dr. Njeriga Shohi takes us through effective communication in marriage in today's episode.
We are back to our class, marriage classroom, and I hope we are learning.
Yes.
A lot.
A lot.
Now, last time we learned about the alphabet and we did E, and we talked about encouraging one another. Something came up because that is part of what we get as feedback, that for us to be able to encourage one another, we are supposed to either say it or write it. That means we must communicate.
Yes.
You don't encourage somebody when you are quiet. Communication, whatever way you do to to encourage, there must be communication, verbal or non-verbal, isn't it? So let's look at communication in marriage. And today I want us to look at the 5 levels that we can go into or we can develop ourselves into to be able even to share those intimate. When we feel like we are fearing to share what we have gone through because we are like, what will the person say about me? What do they think about me? Do I tell the whole story or part of it? It depends on which level we have reached in our communication. But our desire today, and each one of us, is that we may go to the highest level of communication. And that's why it's very important. So we move from what we call the shallow, just like there you go in the water, you start from the shallow head and you continue to the deep head. By the time you're even in a pool, diving into you're already sure. I know how to get out after I have dipped myself there. Otherwise, start on the shallow head, okay? Yes. So the levels move from shallow surface, to the deep one, and this helps us to develop more closeness up to the intimacy. And we start with the one level, the lowest, or the one which is the shallow one. We say where we talk to one another using cliches. Cliches. Now, cliche. Now, what are cliches? This is where we use some, what you call small talk. Sometimes even the words are so used until they almost have lost meaning, because it can be said and even the answer does not even, you don't expect. You see, you can meet somebody crying. How are you? And you say, fine. Because there's no, why should I tell you I'm not fine? That's what we call small talk. You know, there are those times when you come home and the question is, how was your day? Good.
But it wasn't.
Yes. But for us to go to that other level, we must have first, we must develop to the next level. So the first one, this is where even when you enter to a matatu and you have somebody next to you you've not even met, just say, how are you?
Hi.
Hi. That's what you call cliche. Sometimes they may have their own problem. You don't even want to know. And you travel all the way from Kampala to Mombasa, and all that you ask one another is, how are you? And I pray that's not the way it's going to be in our marriages. If it is that level, then it's just the level of what you call acquaintances. Any stranger you find in a bus, in a matatu, or even you're passing everywhere. Hello, how are you? And we say hi to anyone and everyone. It should go beyond that. So this level, how are you? Or even the only other communication, pass me the salt. Okay? Pass me the plate. And you eat in silence. And that's why we say it's acquaintance level. We are beyond acquaintances.
Yes.
Because we are not just having company, we are even beyond. The next level is where we share now facts and information. Now, why just facts and information? Because this is the way things are. We can talk about events, we can talk about people, we can talk about children. It's just facts.
We can talk business.
We can talk business. And somehow that's a good level. If you can go beyond, how are you? How was your day? Okay, good. Then after that, now we start reports. The wife says what?
This child is naughty.
Yes. The naughty may go to a, now that you almost give an opinion, but you may give a report.
The landlord was here.
Good. The landlord was here.
Kazi yako ni kukuja kuchelewa.
Now that one is judgmental. That goes to another level. now that's for the opinion. But the facts
Your
is...
mother called you.
Yes.
Mwalimu alikuwa amepiga simu.
That is it. Your mother-in-law came. Or my mother-in-law came.
Mother-in-law anataka pesa.
True. And that one is reports, okay? And we are closing school, or John is closing school next week. The issue is this: would you be available? Now, if we have to engage further, is who is going to go for the closing day? But the facts are, landlord alikuja, bili ya stima ilikuja, bili ya maji, and so came looking for ng'ombe iliza. And those are reports, and they are very important in the family, because we never know what went on unless we get those. We can even talk about politics, by the way. You know, what has been there, BBI, repeater. I mean, those are some of the things you find people give us facts, but you have not put any opinion on it. So it's just facts. And so you have no fear of being judged. Why? You reported. It was a report. It was your mother-in-law came. You don't know what I felt. Okay? So I've just reported. And that's what we call the facts and information. Now we start going deeper. Like in water now, these are very superficial for friends and acquaintances. And if we are communicating at this level, then we have not gone to the level of companionship. This is the level of just company. You have somebody, but you are like a business associate. You share credit, profit, what we gained. Then when we go to the third level, we are now getting deeper. And this is where we give our feelings and opinions. From what we heard, your mother-in-law came. So give your opinion or your feeling.
Why did she came without calling?
Kwa nini alikuja? Au alikuwa anataka nini?
Anataka nini?
We go now to values.
Sikupendezwa na vile alivyokuja na alichosema alipofika.
Okay. Now you go to details now, not only the facts, but now what went on, your feeling.
Na si alikuja last week, mbona amerudi?
That now going to feelings and opinions, and even sometimes we have values. So in this case, do you know what we are doing? We also risking to be judged, because you need to know how, you know, what really it means to say that kwa nini alikuja. You know, you've already put a judgment on, I mean, you have put a feeling. Mtu wa maji alikuja, kwani hukulipa bila? Now you already somewhere.
Mama alikuja, alipata kitu ya kukula.
Sasa unaweza muuliza, you know, were you hospitable to my mother? Okay, so feelings and opinion, and this is where now there is either we fear to be rejected, we fear to be judged, and we also fear conflict. Now conflicts start at this level, because we've already put our opinions. The fourth one, we are going deeper. We are sharing now even emotions. No, values are not here. This is emotions and even values. And this place of feelings sometimes can also come to this level, because here opinions can also mean ideas. You can give what is your preference. So at fourth level, we are talking about you have emotions and values, judgment. And so you can attach an opinion or a feeling, okay? You reported, and you also have said what was idea? Alikuja last time. So what was your emotions? Or nilichelewa?
Nafikiri kama vile alisema ya kwamba sikufurahia kile ambacho alisema. Ama hiyo ya landlord amekuja, alafu unaanza kusema ya kwamba kwani hujalipa, mimi nilikuwa nadhania umelipa kodi.
Yes.
Or maybe hiyo ng'ombe imezaa na imenifurahisha sana, kama mtoto wako kamekaa poa sana.
Correct. Now you are going even from just idea it to the values. Umependezwa. Imekufurahisha. Now we already are giving our emotions and all that. Let's say like I went to work and I came and reported. You say, how was your day? I said, yeah, it was good. But then nilichelewa, facts and information. Then from there, our opinion. But it was this issue you give now, what really made you get, I had a good day, or you had a bad day. Then you look at your emotions. Yes, what happened? Unasema, today I have had a very bad day. Why? The boss made me feel very angry. I was very angry. You can even say what you did, nililia, not even fearing to be judged. Okay? I felt so embarrassed. Okay? Because this is where emotions, we give our own emotions. We say this, that at this level, we share our affections towards others, or even our emotions towards others, and even objects and events. And we can safely do this if we know we are not going to be rejected. Have you ever said something, somebody tells you, ukalia kwani wewe ni mtoto? Will you say next time ulilia? Yes. Hiyo ni kitu ya kufanya ulie. So what happens? You feel judged, so the next time you stop here. You just give your opinions. Yes. Yeah. He didn't have to tell me that way. Then the last level, and this should be our greatest goal in our marriage, because by the time we are able to share our frustrations and how we feel, what we felt when we went the whole day looking for work and we didn't find, and we can come and share what we felt, then we must have got up here where we say we share deep insights. Deep insights and empathy. Empathy is where you are able to feel with, not feel for. You almost can feel the frustration of that man. Yes. When he comes home and tells you, I went there, waited for at the gate, and when the Muhidi came, he only asked for 5, and I was there at 6. And what was your feeling? Give your feeling, and somebody feels you. Sorry, I trust that God will help us. Tomorrow you'll be. God will give you an opportunity to be picked. And then the wife says, I'm so frustrated. The child haja lala, nimekuwa hapa nyumbani. I've not been able to do any work because the baby has not stopped crying. And there is this other one who is sick. Then when you hear what she's explaining, you are able to understand what exactly she went through. And you can always say, can I help you? How can I help you? Yes, George. Can
we say that level 5, here deep insight and empathy, is a level of strategy, where when you get to that level, you strategize on how you're going to handle the matter at hand. Kwa mfano kama if I feel, ama ninahisi with my wife, if I feel with my wife concerning labda alitafuta labda kibarua haikupatikana, we sit and now strategize on how maybe hata tafuta tena ya kuajiriwa. Yes. Tunaweza fungua hata kama ni kabiashara kadogo, asipitie kile amepitia siku hiyo.
True, because after you have shared the deep insights, you have felt the other person. You almost like walking in his shoes or her shoes. So the next time, even as you are planning, you already have her deep feelings, and you almost know, if I were in her shoes or in his shoes, it would still be as bad or even worse. So you can, as you say, strategize what would be the next thing. I want to say that this level, sometimes people can even feel one another. We call more like telepathy. I don't know whether you have been away, you have traveled. Maybe George, Grace has traveled. And a time comes and it's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm a little bit uneasy. You start calling. You want to know what is happening. Not because even anybody has told you, but there's that feeling. When people go to that level here, we say they can even have what you call telepathy.
Telepathy.
Yeah. Telepathy means is you can almost feel with, give these examples, we close. One day when my husband was working far away in Kabarak, I was far in Durumo. And he was supposed to come on a Friday. And he would come at 4 or after, after 4. So he would reach at around 7 because we were in Nyahururu. But somehow during the day on one Friday, I was so unsettled. I didn't even know the number of Kabarak. So I found myself going to the directory, looking for a number. And I called. And it was at 1. Now, you remember he's supposed to come in the evening, but I found myself calling at 1 because something was like, I don't know what's happening. It's not well. And that was the day he was supposed to come. So I called and it goes directly to the principal's house. And I called and I tell him, it's Mrs. Gashoi. Said, has anyone called you? He said, no. You don't know what has happened? He said, I don't even know. I have just gone to the directory because I want to know what is wrong with my husband. He said, if no one has called you, we don't know how you have come to know. But your husband got burnt. During the practical lesson, he was doing the practical, and there was this flammable carbon disulfide, and he has the scars there. And so it caught fire, the liquid got fire because it's flammable, got into his shirt, and it was a new shirt. So he couldn't be able, by the time he was trying to get it to open, it had already caught fire the whole way. And then there was no water by that time. And so he had to run out and roll. He was told he rolled on the grass like KDF and rolled out, putting out the fire. So by the time I'm calling, he's at Valley Hospital and being taken care of. Somebody may ask, how did you know? I don't know. That is what we are calling gut feeling. Gut feeling. You feel with your gut. It's no longer common sense. It is telepathy. It is intuition. And I believe that God can help us to be here. And we can feel with, to the fact that we almost feel the pain. The wife is the one who is in labor, but the man is the one who is almost feeling like he's getting the whole. And that's why we say the baby and the mother are doing well. The father is recovering because it is an ordeal. And so when they feel with, then you know what it means, telepathy, and it is possible. And that means when you go out there and you have had a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, you can come home and tell, my dear wife, my dear husband, I won't just tell you how it was. And he was ready for you, and you can communicate up to this level. God help us that we go here. This is where we are naked and not ashamed. Amen.
Proverbs 15 verse 1. A gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. In today's discussion during the break,
Mwalimu alikuwa anatuelezea the stages of communication, but me I'm thinking majority of marriages, I think they're in shallow and they are using a lot of facts, whereby they, how are you? Umeshinda aje? Niko sawa. Yeah, this person is not even okay and is not even comfortable. Maybe you are from work, the work was not okay. And even when you are being asked by your wife, you're saying that iko sawa. Vitu zimeenda sawa. Because you know, automatically, whenever that maybe you are going to give out information to your wife or to your husband is not going to take it well.
The communication in marriage is not really, for the marriages ambazo ni za siku hizi, hakuna communication. Unapata ya kwamba mume ameingia kwa nyumba, yeye ako na shughuli zake, mke ako na shughuli zake. Hata hakuna mwenye anataka kujua yule mwingine amekuwa aje. Unapata ya kwamba ndio maana unapata hata wanaume wengi wanajinyonga, wanajitoa uhai kwa sababu, na pia na sisi ladies hatuko tayari kuambiwa. Kama mume ameshinda kwa kazi, amepitia changamoto, we are not ready to listen, or we are not ready to work together with our husband. Unapata ya kwamba mume kwa sababu anajua huyu hata nikimwambia hawezi akanisaidia. Na plus the ego ya mwanaume inamfanya aone kama kwamba mwanamke hakuna kitu anaweza akanisaidia. So it is good for us to swallow our prides so that we can be able to open up. Ili tutoke kwa kiwango cha kwanza tuende mpaka katika kile kiwango tunafunguliana mioyo. I think it is good for the marriages and for men and women and the spouses to open up. Tukubali kufungukiana.
Na kitu ambayo nitauliza ni kitu gani ambapo huwa inafanya yenye wanandoa wasiongee ama wasifunguliane mioyo?
Nadhani katika communication kama vile tumefunzwa, unaona inaenda na levels. Na hizi levels zinatofautiana. Kuna mahali unaanza kufunguka na unazidi ukifunguka kwa zaidi na zaidi. But inategemea nani anakusikiza na ni nani unafungukia. Nani una communicate na yeye. Kwa sababu kwa mfano the first level of cliches, that is short talks or small talks. Kama umeambia mtu how are you na response umeona kabisa reaction yake hii hata si kama alikuwa anataka fine, ameenda shughuli zake, then inakuwa ngumu kwenda kwa the next level. Inakuwa ngumu sasa kupitisha hicho kiwango uende hicho kingine cha kumpatia nini information and facts. Kwa sababu kwanza amekudiscourage, amekuonyesha ya kwamba he or she is not interested in this that you have begun. Naona. So nafikiri hizi levels za communication wakati mwingine katika ndoa zinapata hindrances from the initial stages.
Na sasa hebu nikiuliza ni kwamba ukiwa umekaa kwa ndoa miaka 10 ama ni mwaka mmoja ama ni kwa sababu hamjajuana. Unajua kwa sababu hiyo uko sawa, siko sawa. Mimi usinisumbue. Niko sawa. Unaona? Ni kwamba mmekaa kwa muda mrefu kwenye hiyo ndoa ama ni kwa sababu hamujajuana. Hiyo ndio kitu ambapo
I think it is very little to do with the duration. Kwa sababu ni kama vile mtu anasema ya kwamba niko na 25 years experience ama I've been in this for 25 years, lakini it is 1 year experience repeated 25 times. Unakuta ya kwamba sidhani ni chronological age. Ni vile mnimeruhusu nyinyi wenyewe kugrow into the next level. Kama vile ambavyo amesema ya kwamba unaona mtu amekuuliza how are you? Unasema fine na kwenda shughuli zako. Hamutaenda hiyo stage nyingine. Ama mmeenda ile stage mpaka ya 3, umetoa feelings zako. Ukitoa feelings zako kama ya kwamba sikusikia vizuri, unaulizwa sasa hapo ni nini ya kukufanya usikie mbaya. Unajua huyo mtu amekujudge, amekudunisha. Wewe unaonekana ya kwamba you have a myopic mind.
I also think that kuna traditionally like the Ugandans wana uzoefu wa salamu zao. If I ask you how are you, then they respond in a way that creates like in a welcome a kind of a communication. Ukimuuliza how are you, anakwambia how are you, anakwambia I'm fine, how are you. So unaona anakuengage now from the opposite side. Asemi fine akienda, unamuuliza how are you, anakwambia I'm fine, how are you. Unaona sasa analeta ile anakukaribisha kwa yale mazungumzo. So mnaendelea nini? Kuzungumza, mnaenda kuulizana habari za nyumbani, habari za wapi. Lakini kama discussion itakatwa kwa stage 1 ya kwamba ukiuliza mtu umeshindaje, nakwambia vizuri na anatoweka. Basi inakuwa ngumu kumfuata to say something more. Because ile ya kwanza the reception was not very good. So I think it is a hindrance to communication. And you cannot even have the ability to go to the next level. You have facts, kwenda the other one you are feeling, and the rest up to engage kwa deep insight.
But also it's a journey ambayo tunaenda tukijuana. Vile tunaenda tukijuana, because like the last class ambayo tulikuwa tunafundishwa, ni lazima niwe nimejua whether you are my friend. so that if I can tell you my secrets, nikikwambia nimefutwa kazi, utaichukulia namna gani? Are you my friend indeed? We are married, yes. Are you my friend? Ambayo nikikwambia nimefutwa kazi, hautaenda ukiishauti huko ukisema, unajua mume wangu alifutwa kazi, sasa ni mimi ninatafuta. But now you go growing.
Mimi ndio kusema.
Mimi ndio sasa ninasema, you grow from one level to another. Na tunapokuwa kama ni mimi na my husband, tunakuwa pamoja. We be ready for everything when we are together. That is the right thing ambayo tunaweza kuwa we go into the deepest. Mahali ambapo tunafika mpaka ninaweza nikamwambia ninasikia my dear, ninasikia kuna kitu ninataka nikuambie. I open up.
Kuna jambo moja pia ningetaka kusema ambalo linachangia watu, kwa sababu tulisema ama she pointed out when she said that ndoa za siku hizi. So when we are talking about right now, kuna jambo moja ambalo watu hawaliangalii sana, lakini ni gadgets. Sisi tunafika nyumbani kama how are you? Fine. Na sasa hiyo mimi niko kwa
simu.
I'm communicating with somebody very far.
Yes.
Lakini yule ambaye tuko naye hapa hakuna communication yeyote. Naye mimi niko kwa karibu kila mtu ako kwa gadget yake, either simu, ako kwa social media, ama yule ambaye hayuko hapa ako kwa laptop.
Na saa zingine unaweza pata ako kwenye hiyo uko kwenye simu na unacheka na saa hizo umeambiwa how are you. Sasa mtu anakuja anajiuliza itakuwaje, kwa sababu kama umenijibu tu okay na hauongei venye ambavyo unatakana,
naona hapa unacheka pande nyingine
na umeongea okay jina moja peke yake. Sasa ni mambo gani ambayo inaweza tufanya kwamba kiasi ya kwamba tufikie kwamba ile ambayo mwalimu ametuelezea telepathy, ni kitu gani ambapo tutafanya kama wanandoa ili tuweze kufikia kiwango kile?
Kuna clip fulani niliona is a post. Jamaa ana post anasema I spent 50,000 on her birthday. Na siku ya birthday yake msichana anapost, the wife anapost at on this day the king was born. Unaona? Na yeye mwanaume anarudisha anasema my wife, did I tell you I have a kingdom? Ndio niite king. Unaona? Appreciate, anarudisha rude. So vitu kama hizo zinaweza zuia kufika kwa hiyo telepathy. Yeah.
Ili ndoa ikue ni lazima kuwe na deliberate will. Yani kitu nyinyi wenyewe mmekusudia kitu ya kukusudia ya kwamba ni lazima tuwe na wakati. First and foremost is time together. Time together. Na wakati huo gadgets zetu zote ziwe kando. And then number 2, tuwe watu ambao deliberate in the sense that hatutaenda kujudge yule mwingine kulingana na feelings zake. Unajua ukiwa deliberate hautasema fine na uende shughuli zako. Utasema fine or not fine na ukae hapo ili muweze kucommunicate. And then unasikiza yule mwingine with a will to reason na unasikiza and then you don't judge that person because of their feelings, because of their actions. Wewe ni kusikiza. Unajua hiyo uki-encourage yule mtu mwingine ya kwamba whatever we are doing ikiwa leo nimetoa feelings zangu ama emotions zangu hata nililia, alafu mtu haja kuuliza hiyo ni kitu ya kufanya ulie. Next time it will be very easy kumwambia na leo nilifurahi sana ama leo nilisikia vibaya. So you'll go growing in a very deliberate manner.
Nafikiri pia availability pia itachangia sana katika communication. Availability. Whether you are near or far. Uwe karibu ama uwe mbali. Availability means ya kwamba utaacha yale mengine unafanya, kwanza usikizane ama muongee ama mcommunicate na mwenzako. Kwa sababu wakati mwingine nazo shughuli unaona we are unable to balance. Unakuwa umeegemea upande mmoja sana. Mama anapika, anakaa jikoni, chakula itakuwa kitamu lakini communication haitakuwa. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu hata kama jikoni kuna kazi nyingi, ita mwenzako hapo, and then engage
Hata wewe
something.
umsaidie.
Lakini tena niulize, ni lazima uitwe? Hata wewe ukiona ako na kazi mingi.
Nilisikia ukitaka mwanaume akuje jikoni kukusaidia, chukua muombe simu yake umlike nayo jikoni.
Stay tuned for the continuation of effective communication in marriage on next week's episode. To get the notes of today's lesson, visit www.mbcimedia.com/TMC. Catch the repeat of the Marriage Classroom every Tuesday at 10 p.m.